The things you think about determine the quality of your mind, Marcus Aurelius says. And I don't think he could be more true with that. You truly are your thoughts. It's like you are what you eat, you are what you think. If you think that the world is a evil, twisted, messed up place, then that's all you're going to see. And eventually, no matter how good you are, that's what you're going to turn out to be, an evil, twisted person. Because that's all you see and that's all you think about. But if you see the light in the world, the goodness of mankind, the generosity, the humanity, if you can see these things and focus on those instead of the evilness out there, then your mind will be colored with that. Those thoughts will be what color your mind and make your mind. There's another book by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh. And this is a very, very good book that I highly recommend all you read. It's a very short book. It's only about 60 so odd pages, but it just hits a lot of powerful points on thoughts. And it basically says, as a man thinketh is as a man is. What you think about is who you become. I'll read a little quote from this. The honest man reaps the good results of his honest thoughts and acts. He also brings upon himself the suffering which his vices produce. The dishonest man likewise garners his own suffering and happiness. So, the honest man reaps the good results. You need to be truthful and authentic in life. And if you can think this way, you will be this way, as a man thinketh. So just remember, however you decide to look at the world is going to be projected back upon yourself. If you look at someone and think that they're ugly because they're overweight or they're balding or any of that, the same stick you measure others against will be measured to yourself. The Bible says this, and how true that is. If you judge other people like this, if you start to gain a little bit of weight, then you're going to think you're fat. You won't be able to look past that fact because you're so quick to judge every overweight person, or you're so quick to judge everyone who's balding. If you start to lose your hair, then you think it's an evil, you think it's bad. And in reality, it just is. You can't control that. And weight, you usually can control, but I mean, there's some instances, medical conditions, things like that, where weight is a lot harder to control. Your ghrelin, the thing that makes you hungry, is a lot harder to control. And you can't always hold this against people, and you can't always look at people in this light. Think, oh, you're overweight, you don't have any self-control, you're undisciplined, you're an ugly person. Just look at them as they are, Epictetus would say. Maybe it was Seneca. One of the Stoic philosophers said that. If you see an overweight person, call it as it is. They're overweight. They're not a bad person. They're not evil. They're not self-indulgent. These things may be true, but you need to know an awful lot about someone to form a true opinion about them. You cannot just judge a book by its cover, essentially. You can't see someone and immediately assume that that's their case. If you're in the gym and you see some very muscular person and he has back acne, he has big traps, this is a telltale sign of steroids. But you don't know this person's life. He could be struggling with acne his whole life, and he just happens to have genetically good traps. Like, you can't just immediately assume this person's on steroids. You can't be ignorant to the fact that he might be, but you don't know. You need to know an awful lot about him as a person, and what he does if that's the case. So it does you no good to blindly make assumptions about this person in that light. So just be careful with how you direct your thoughts outward, because they will be directed at you. How you measure others, the same stick that you measured with will be measured against yourself. So the things you judge others for, you will judge yourself for. And this is a vicious cycle that you don't want to be.